So the Indiana Fever can't just have a win. They can't just win a game. Can they not just win a game without controversy? Like, that would be great. It'd be great to just see this team go and win a game without some controversy. But very clearly, this situation is just messy. The entire Nalyssa Smith saga is messy. She's gone to Twitter to go after the trolls. And she said a tweet that, again, don't think it's the end of the world. But it's just messy. It's just messy, and you can't have that on a freaking team. I don't know how it's affecting the team. I don't think it's really affecting the team. But as far as the, like, relationship between the fans and the players, there is none. There is none. Or not the fans and players. The fans and this one specific player. There is none. So, Dejanay Carrington, a player that is in a relationship with Nalyssa Smith, tweeted out, "See what happens when my girl gets some touches." And then she got absolutely flamed. She got absolutely flamed because, one, Nalyssa Smith was terrible today. And I really mean that. Nalyssa Smith was terrible today. I don't think Nalyssa Smith has the impact of, she has almost zero impact on games. As good, like, I don't think she's a bad player. I think there is a system, there is a scenario where Nalyssa Smith is an all-star. It's just not with his current Indiana team. But before we get on, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for 35.3k. If we can hit 35 we're going for 35.5k by the end of the season. Heck, if we can get 40k by the end of the regular season, it's not impossible. What am I talking about? If we can hit 36k by the end of the regular season. Why am I saying 40k? 36k by the end of the regular season, I'm happy. But Nalyssa Smith played 19 minutes, almost all that in the first half, and was -9 in a win. And by the way, Indiana, until Dallas just lit them up at the end of the game, Indiana were up 9 points. Her replacement hit the 2 threes down the stretch to ice the game. They were up 9 points. There was a stage in the game where the team were winning by 9 and she was -9 on the floor. They were, and she was poor. And not only that, is she let Natasha Howard score. I'd say Natasha Howard, let's take a look. First half. We're going to go periods first half. In the first half, Natasha Howard had 18 points. 18 points. And Nalyssa Smith, I'm pretty sure, guarded her for 16 of those points. She got cooked for 16 by Natasha Howard. Albeit, she scored 8 herself, but she got cooked for 16 by Natasha Howard. That's not good. That's not good at all. And then she goes and says it was fun while it lasted. Again, I don't know the context of this. I don't really know. It's not a good look. That's like basically saying, oh, it was fun while it lasted. Oh, about playing. Like, you won the game. Tweeting that as a response when your team still won is crazy. I love Dejanay and understand sticking with your partner, but Nalyssa cannot play defense to save her life, and her offense stops the ball. She's just not a good fit. Kudos to that mark. Send Smith to Carrington the Sun. Is there any scenario where the two of them can end up in the same team? Because, ironically, somehow the best defender and the worst defender are like is the two of them. Maybe Carrington will, like, I don't know. Maybe she'll like make up for some of the defensive lapses that Nalyssa Smith has on the court. And the reality of the situation is that she's got, like, if Indiana will not go anywhere as long as Nalyssa Smith is there. She has less impact than Temi Fagbenle. And then if Dantas is shooting well, Dantas is shooting well. She can't make free throws. And I mean that. She actually cannot make free throws. I know she went 0 of 0 today. She was 1 of 4 the last day. She is missing crunch time free throws regularly. She can't make free throws. She's shooting under 50% of the freaking line. Or maybe she's shooting over 50%. But she started off the season shooting well. She cannot make free throws. Her confidence is all over the place. But the reality is that it is a spiral. When she's not playing confident, she's not being good. She's not playing well enough to be on the floor. And I have to say, there was a spell of 3 or 4 games where she put in effort. I thought she was pretty good against the Sun. I thought she was really good against the Sky. And then, was it against There was another game they played where she was pretty good. And again, I don't think she's as bad as people making her out to be. It's just a situation where it is messy. Like, she was against the Lynx. Everyone sucked against the Lynx. And I think she was pretty good against, was the Sparks? Or whoever they played before the Sparks. But it's just an entire messy situation wherever Nalyssa Smith goes. Mostly caused by Dejanay, by the way. Every single time something happens with the Fever, every single time something happens with Nalyssa Smith, it is Dejanay Carrington making like a point about the Fever. And the amount of crap that she has said about the Fever fans, everything. And again, like, I don't think she's saying that without Nalyssa Smith giving her not giving her the okay to say it. I know they're joking, but some things don't need to be on the internet. This could have been a text. If she was in longer, it would have cost him the game. Liz is gone next year. She's under 60% free throw shooter. Your newest member of the Golden State Valkyries. And again, we can't forget about that. Like, Nalyssa Smith was talking earlier, and she was like, as soon as the colors for the Valkyries were announced, she commented on Paige Becker's post being like, we look good in purple. The day after it was announced that the Valkyries were going to wear purple. It is like, it's so obvious she's been trying to get herself out of this team. And look, I get it. If you don't want to be there, that's fine. I understand. You're playing a system that doesn't suit your game. You're playing for a coach who doesn't think you're a very good basketball player. You're probably not playing as many minutes as you like. You're being forced to play defense when you're not a good defender. I get it. I understand Nalyssa Smith wanting to leave. If I was Nalyssa Smith, I want to leave too. You are, as far as impact-wise, probably one of the lesser impactful players, despite the fact that talent-wise, you would be in one of the top few players talent-wise in this team. And the impact is kind of getting worse and worse as the year is going on. Again, I'm not going to question her effort. I think her effort's been okay. I just think that her play style does not suit. But the reality of this is that it is Nalyssa Smith social media crap that is going to make things messy. The reality of this whole situation is I think every single player on the Fever is already basically immune to all this crap, because I don't know how many of them are actually on social media. I think they're all essentially immune to some of this crap, because at the end of the day, like, it's nonsense. What's going on is nonsense, and this is no more drama than some of the crap that's happening around Caitlin Clark's name. The reality is this is a player actually interacting with it themselves. And I would strongly advise Nalyssa Smith just, again, I advise every single player in the league to get off Twitter. I would strongly advise Nalyssa Smith to get off Twitter. But still, it's just not a good look for the Fever at all. And it's very clear she wants out. She has made it very, like, I don't think, again, it's going to be a situation where she's just going to leave. Or she's, like, not going to try while she's here. But I am still saying that she is effectively saying her and Dejanay are effectively waving their hands and screaming, we don't want to be in or I don't want to be in Indiana anymore. And Dejanay saying, I don't want her to be in Indiana anymore. So, look, at this stage, I think it's going to be best in the offseason to just end it right there. I think it's going to be best for the Fever's future, and I think it's going to be best for Dejanay Carrington's future that, like, she's no longer a member of the Fever next year. Like, heck, I would use her because I think she still has some value. I think she would have value for a team like the Aces because she has firepower off the bench, which they don't really have, especially with Tiffany Hayes probably retiring again. If I was them, I would try to get off Katie Lou's contract. I would go Nalyssa Smith, Katie Lou, and you try to find a way to see if you can get Gustafson and Martin, like two players that don't play much for the Aces, and you've got Katie Lou, who I think they will probably say, you know what, Katie Lou's as good as Gustafson. Kate Martin, you got 3 Iowa players to there, or you just don't protect her and let her walk. I think it's highly unlikely they don't protect her. I think they try to use her as trade bait because I do think Nalyssa Smith has some value.